Events and Adventures. I am here with Alma, our date doctor today. Say hi, Alma.
Hi, everybody. I'm the dating concierge for ENA.
She does an absolutely fantastic job, and she actually does personal coaching too. So we'll put a link down in the bottom here later, so you can go ahead and try that if you want to do it. But we do a lot of events with Alma for our members here at Events and Adventures. So something to look forward to. If you remember, we got some new ones coming out in April, which we have another video. If you're a member, it'll be on your Facebook tomorrow when the new calendar comes out. So, but today we're here talking about something different. We're going to talk about breaking the ice and how group adventures and going out as a group versus just by yourself or staying online will help you to find love if you're an introvert. So I know we've had a lot of members that are introverts over the years. Events and Adventures is good for people that are a little bit shy, I think. There's a big difference between like being in a situation where you know people and just like sitting at some random bar. I don't know any introvert that wants to sit at a bar. So what are your thoughts on just in general? Let's not talk about Events and Adventures first. Let's talk about just online events versus in person, and how that might help you if you're shy. If you're a really shy person, introvert, shy, same thing.
You mean how an online class might be better than in person if you're too shy, like the first step? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, like any kind of group thing versus just going to a bar, that kind of stuff, or online.
I do want to actually bring up events and adventures because what I find is with all of the events that we do have, there's an activity. So it's not like you're just like going on a date and sitting across from each other. You're involved, whether it's like a
Yeah.
scavenger hunt or escape room or axe throwing, someone's there to help you. Maybe you don't know how to do it. And, women, we love to ask for help. Guys like to help. So there's lots of things that are in place. So say you are an introvert, there's ways for you to get out of your shell in a more like safe environment.
Mm-hmm.
Plus there's always the host there, like kind of just making sure like, what do you need? Or hey, let me introduce you to somebody. It's just a platform to help introverts not be introverts because honestly, a lot of the people that I've met, they say they're introverts, but once you get to talk to them, they're fine, but it's like, how do you go from 0 to nothing? Um, so part of, my classes help with that, part of just going to the events and realizing, "Oh, you just joined too," or, "I don't know how to axe throw, do you?" And then all of a sudden you're having a conversation.
I agree. The key thing I think you said there is that no matter how shy you are, once you get to know people, you tend to loosen up and you tend to be able to talk to people better, and just everything goes better once you know people, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem online. Um, if you're on Match.com or some other online thing, you don't know who they are. The trust level is really low nowadays. The AIs are so good. You could spend a week talking to an AI and not even know it, and then they're trying to sell you something, right?
That is
So I
absolutely
think I think being AI on uh, like Match or one of those other services is, aside from being dangerous, I think it can be really uncomfortable because you have to put your face up there, right? You just got to basically lay yourself,
yeah,
more or
it's
less naked.
very
Yeah,
vulnerable, and it's like
yeah.
when you're I mean, one of the things I always tell people in like even the flirting class, like say you do go on a date and someone's like, "Oh, how are you doing?" And like everyone's like, "Oh, I'm doing good." But it's like if you actually say the truth, like, "Actually, you know what? I'm a little bit nervous." All of a sudden they might be like, "Oh my God, I'm a little nervous too." And then all of a sudden
You
you've broken the ice. So it's like honesty and vulnerability is actually a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think if you're a man, you got to be careful about how you say I'm nervous, and you can say it with a laugh a little bit. You got to be careful about saying it too much or you look weak. So there's like a trade off there, But I think a
Yeah.
lot of people that are introverts is because they're insecure about something, whether it's their looks, or for a guy their height or their money, or for a woman looks and just ability to communicate. the fear you're going to say the wrong thing. I think there's a lot of things that kind of go into that insecurity. Also, if you think the person you're with is like too good for you, or if you're extremely attracted to them. You ever notice the more attracted you are to somebody, the harder it is to talk to them,
Yeah,
right?
or you talk too much and then you blow it because you're nervous.
Right. So where do I go with this? And I think shy people in general, and I was shy at one point. I'm not now, but when I was younger, I spent a long time very shy. And when you talk to somebody, it feels like there's like this spotlight on you, and you have to perform. Anytime that you're with anybody, you feel like they're maybe looking down on you, or it's like it feels like an interrogation. And I actually have a couple things, if you are going through that, that'll help you with that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I definitely think a little bit of plug for ENA. Because we're a private club, we interview everybody before they join. And so when you actually go to the event, there's a better trust. There's a better trust level. And we have hosts at all the events. And so you're only really new once, right? You have that first event where you're going to be just like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous about this. And that's normal. Even confident people feel that when you go into your first event. But that's the only first event you're ever going to go to. And the more events you go to, the more people you know, the more comfortable you are. And I've seen some people, I had a guy who was actually sent to us by his psychiatrist once because he was just so shy, and it was a problem for him. He was a good guy. He was a really good guy. And I don't know, his parents should have been shot. They didn't teach him how to be with people.
Sometimes as adults, we need practice. It's like we grow up and, we think everything has to be this way. And that's why even in some of my classes, like, it's like, how can we play? Like the logo for Events and Adventures, like show up, have fun. And we have to learn to just have fun. And I think we also need, in today's culture where therapy is cool and everyone's done work on themselves and self-help, you got to pay homage to each other. Hey, I showed up, I'm putting my heart on the line. Like, they're just like you. They go to the bathroom just like you. They want love just like you. They're afraid of rejection just like you. It's like, if we all know we're on the same playing field, that should just like, it's like an open door, right?
Yeah. No, women work on themselves all the time. Guys work out. We work out. And
guys are starting to work on themselves more these days.
Some guys do, but not nearly to the extent women do. I mean, there's a whole industry of books and stuff for women to like find yourself and be better at this and be better at that. Guys, I think a lot of guys feel like we should already be good at it, right? We feel like we should be good. Why would I need that? Why would I need a class? Why would I do that? And I think if you're someone who has not been successful, then maybe you do. Let me talk about a couple of things, differences between online and in-person dating. That I think there's a tendency, if you're shy, to think that online will be better, because you know what? I'm behind the safety of my computer. I'm in my house. I can have some popcorn. I can stress eat the whole time I'm talking to somebody. And maybe that's a little more comfortable in some ways, but you better have a great headshot. You better have a great resume, because it's really it's like a marriage interview, right? It's like a job interview.
They need to go to the Art of Online Dating class.
Right. Well, I think that's just horrible. I think that's horrible for people. And, I think if you're actually going to events with people, then you get to know them. You get to relax. You get to find out what people are really like. They get to find out what you're like, right? So I think it's important to actually be with people. And even if you're online, you're going to end up having to get in a room with them eventually, right? And, God forbid you should be online with somebody for 2 months and you go to that Starbucks date and like 3 seconds in, you're like, why did I waste all this time? And you just walk in and either they lied to you.
Yeah, they're not who they say they are. They don't look like who they are.
Yeah, all those things can happen. And just chemistry, right? There's you can have chemistry online. It's not the same as chemistry in person. And when you actually get in a room with somebody, the subconscious and all those things and just the body language and all that can just, it can change your whole perception of somebody. And I know there's been, I've interviewed probably about 4,000 singles for events and adventures over the years, and so they tell me what's working and what's not working for them. And oh, I don't know how many of them told me, yeah, I went on the Starbucks blind date, and I walked in and I looked at the person and I'm like, do I just ghost them and not even go over there, or do I go sit there when I really know I don't want to meet that person?
Yeah.
And it can be really awkward. I'm a good person. I by the way, if you're in that situation, sit down with them, and try to have a good time. You never know, right? You never know what's going to happen. The one thing I do know is if you're going into that situation and you go home, you're not going to meet anybody, and you're not going to learn anything. So
Yeah, you want to challenge yourself. And I mean, how is your life going to be different this year than how it was last year? Like,
absolutely. Well, and when you I want to just continue the thought on that one thing. If they're not somebody, you're like, I'm not going to want to be with this person, and you're shy, what better place to practice?
exactly.
You don't think there's going to be anything going on with that person. So sit down with them, enjoy the evening, practice talking, practice, all the things that you're nervous about with someone that you really care about, and just try to enjoy the night. James Taylor had a line in a song that was, the secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. And I think in a situation like that, that's what you do. You enjoy the night to the extent you can. And then, just don't be with that person again. Right. So, but you're right. When somebody joins Events and Adventures, they do not have to go to your class to fit in. But if you're really shy or you want work on how you can be better at that kind of thing, 100%, they should go to one of your classes and try to get better at whatever it is that you're not good at. How do you think a shy person is going to benefit from your classes? I'll let you have the floor to tell us all about that for a
Let
second.
me have the floor. Well, um, I guess I want to call it like therapy 101, right? So if you ask someone why are they shy, it usually has something to do with their past. Something happened when they grew up, or someone said this comment, or someone beat you up, or something. So it's almost like we have to do a quick little therapy to figure out what happened, to figure out like something was wrong, or someone said this, or your dad said that, or someone broke up with you or broke your heart. And then what we do is we create a story about that, and we think that's who we are. And it's like I always tell people in my workshops, if I could erase your memory, what would your life look like? What would your dating life look like? I mean, if you had no recollection of rejection, you would be living your life differently. So I'm not magic, but if you can just kind of get that in your head, like, I mean, even for my own story, like my name is Alma, right? When I was young, I had curly hair. My hair was very short. And I remember people would say, are you a boy or a girl? And I'm a lot older now, and I've grown my hair long, and it's like it's still in my head. Like, are they going to think I'm a boy or a girl? So it's almost like our baggage that we bring with us, it's not serving us. So if we can actually identify where something went wrong, and a lot of
Yeah.
people know what it is. He said this, she said that. My dad said I was stupid. My boyfriend said I was fat. Like, you think that's the truth.
Yep.
So probably what we do is we plug in alter reality is like, well, what if you look like someone, or what if it doesn't have
Yeah.
anything to do with it? Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I had a woman once that left me for a guy, and I was crushed by it. It was I thought we were going to get married. I was like way into that, and then we spent like a month apart. She found somebody else. So by the way, if you're really in love with somebody, don't let them have a bunch of months where you're not there. But yeah, and it was crushing. I could have let that really affect me, but you can't let something like that control your life. You've got to realize it's there and just go, no, I am better than that. That's the only
Yeah.
way it affects my life is if I let it change how I deal with people in a negative way, you know.
Yeah. So it's
That's
kind of
really
just
tough.
giving people like the tools and the skills to recognize that this is just a story you created.
Yeah.
And And then we just try and have fun with the future and try and just forget about the past. Like anytime you walk into a room, it's a new day. You know, you could meet your next husband, wife, ex-husband, ex-wife. Like you never know what's going to happen. That's how you got to like look at life, right?
Yeah. And I just heard somebody say, actually walk in the room. I'm not walking in the room. I had a guy who was so shy once, and he joined the club. And the way I got him to go ahead and join, because he was just like, I, you know, I wanted to do this. I wanted to make this change. But at this point, I'm just so nervous
Yeah.
about it. And so I told him, I said, I'll go to the event with you. I'll go to your first event. And we met, and he didn't go out inside before I got there. We met at the car, and I picked an event that I thought was going to be a small event. It was a little barbecue down towards Tacoma, Des Moines, actually. And I was like, this should be easy for him. Well, there was like 60 people at this house party. There was tons of people. It was a great party. And obviously his eyes are like really big. But I grabbed him and I said, let's go. I'm right here. I'm your wingman. I got you. And we went over by the barbecue and we were talking and he seemed fine. And after, like 45 minutes or something, I excused myself to go to the restroom. When I got back, he was gone. Right. And he was just so nervous, but he started going to events and he ended up getting past that. He got past it,
Yeah.
and he took that first big step, which was joining the club and going, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a change in my life. I want to be this other person. And what step am I going to take to make sure I do that? But, I gave him a little cheat, and I'll give this to you now. This is free for you guys. So
Free from Mark.
right? Well, I mean, I've been doing events and adventures for 38 years. It's a long time. And I've had a lot of people that have come to me and said, hey, I want to, I'm having this problem with women. It's usually men that came to me, right? Because I'm a dude. And they go, I'm having problems with women. How can I do this? You're so good with people. And what can I do? And I came up with a thing. And so what I teach them is I say, you just got to put your fingers on your knuckles, right? And you use them as like a what do they call it? Mnemonic? A cheat? And the first, I might get the letters wrong here suddenly, but you ask questions about their life, right? You ask about their family, right? Then you ask about their work. You ask about what they do for fun. And then you ask something about their membership, like, what events have you gone to and that kind of thing. And if you just keep going back and forth on that knuckle and just ask a question about that and just go right through it, just ask a question about that.
Yeah, because people like to talk and people like to help.
Yeah.
And yeah, for sure. And we're just people. Like men are afraid of women, women are afraid of men. And it's like, we're all the same, right? We're all here to kind of like find love, find our tribe. And if we can just recognize that about each other, like we all just want to connect. It's like babies that
Yeah.
aren't touched when they're young, right? Like we need that human connection. And kudos to all the people that are like, I'm doing something different. I'm signing up. I might be nervous, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah. So the key is, even if it's not events and adventures, in your city, maybe, this is on YouTube. Maybe if we're only in 15 cities. And so if you're in some other city, you got to find something, get out and go do it. You can't sit on your couch. Your house is your enemy if you want to meet people. Online is your enemy if you want to meet people.
Yeah.
I mean, there are things you can do online. If you want to meet people, meet them in person.
Yeah.
Find a way to meet them in person. You have to mentally cross that bridge and realize that you're not going to ever fall in love with somebody until you're in the same room with them.
Yeah.
So
And there's
what
like
better chance to do that?
there's so much like support now than there ever was back in the day. I mean, right?
Yeah.
There's date coaches, there's event companies, there's matchmaking, like there's all these things to help bring people together in a time where we need this togetherness. And it's like this is good for your mental health. I mean, joining events and adventures, not only are you going to laugh till your tummy hurts because
Yeah.
the events are like super fun, but you're going to meet some awesome people and you're probably going to fall in love.
Right.
Right?
I think it's going to happen. Who was that? Somebody just chatted. You're only nervous because you care. Was that
Yeah,
Paul? Is
that's
that Paul?
awesome.
And I think that's true. When you don't care about people, you're not nervous. The more you care about them, the harder it is.
Yeah.
100%. I think that's true. Now, if you're not in one of our cities, and we'll post the cities down here on the thing, and you're trying to find events, be really careful. A lot of them are just, Amway presentations or trying to steal something from you, or there's a lot of bad people out there, right? So, with Events and Adventures, we interview everybody and we get rid of the nut jobs. We make sure everybody's a good person.
And it's a
Before,
long interview. Like we
yeah,
want good
it takes about an
people.
hour.
No, we want good people for our
Yeah.
already existing good people. Like when I interview people, like I kind of want to fall in love with them because then I gotta help them fall in love with somebody else, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we take care of that for you. So if you're shy, we are taking care of that for. So when you meet somebody, you can be more comfortable, and everybody's here to meet everybody. If you're outside of our network of cities, try to find some place where they do background checks on people.
Yeah.
And just be careful. Just be careful because there's things
Yeah, there's a
happen.
lot of people
Things
that take
happen.
advantage of like really good people that are trying to find their tribe, their friends, new dating lovers. You know, you got to be careful in today's day and age.
So Paul, you learned that from golf. Why was that the case, man? We should invite you on. You got a webcam, man?
What was his question? I don't think we can see what his question.
It's in the chat if you look over there. I think we can. We can invite him on if he wants to hop on and say hi. But yeah, it's over in the chat. If you open up the chat area, it's over on the right. You can see it. But I don't know if he's still there or not. But definitely if I'm with somebody that if I'm golfing, I'm always nervous because I suck at golf. I do have a hole in one, but I suck at golf. So it makes me very nervous. And it would be I would not want to go on a golf date with a woman. No, not at all. So I would definitely want to, if I'm going on a date with a woman, I want to do something that I'm good at, something she likes that I'm good at, because I don't want to look like an idiot. So what are you good at? Right. That's a suggestion there. So, but any other comments, Alma? Oh, wait. Here, let me in. Okay, Paul. Paul, you're going to be in the conversation. Here you come.
Hey.
Hey, man.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
So you've been listening to the conversation and,
Yeah. I got here a bit late. But I wasn't really enjoying it. And about the nervous part. So I played professional golf. I turned pro back in 2010. And I'll never forget my first real pro event. Like I could barely even hold on to the golf club, and my caddy came over to me and he was like, Paul, you're only nervous because you care. And it just like calmed me, and played really well, made a bunch of money that weekend. It was really fun. So sometimes we just get in our own way with how much we actually give a crap about our goal, right? So
the magic of not giving a
yeah. And I read a book once. It was called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Really good book.
I was thinking of that book. I literally was thinking of that book.
Yeah. So just kind of hit a nerve with me about that. So that's why I was throwing it in the chat. But yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. So do you have an experience where you're real shy in like dating? Like maybe have you been in a long relationship and tried to get back into dating? What kind of nerves have you felt when you were out dating? Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, honestly, nothing. I've always just kind of channeled that mindset from my golf career. And
yeah.
I am who I am and I own it. Right. So
there you go.
If you don't like it, then, we can still be friends. That's cool. But I'm not gonna, be a fake version of myself and worry about all the, what you think, Alma, or whatever, like I'm just gonna be who I am. That's always been my mindset. And
I think it's important to remember that if you're looking for the one, that's one person out of all the people you're going to meet. Everybody else is just somebody you have fun with while you're trying to find the one. And don't put like huge pressure on every person you ever meet that they have to be the love of your life, or you're just going to freak them out.
It's a numbers thing also, and it's like the journey. It's not about getting the prize. It's just like, because you're going to learn a lot and meet a lot of really great people along the way.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, if you get out there, because I think there was a study that showed before COVID, the average man, single guy, had 5 friends, male friends. After COVID, that's dropped to 2. So if you're a guy and you're feeling like you're alone, and you're more alone than you were, it might be true. It might be true. And what do we do, dudes? When we don't have a woman in our life, we work. We work and we play games. That's all we do. Unless, it's for a lot of guys, that's all you do. And you can go down that hole and never come back and just work the rest of your life. The reason we work is so we can have the money to spend time with amazing people that are around us and that care about us. And so that doesn't happen if you don't find people to care. So you need to prioritize that as much as you're prioritizing your job. I can hear him typing.
He's trying to get a date right now because he's not nervous.
No, just work stuff.
The answer is no, Paul.
He's like, dude, I'm on a live feed on YouTube.
Sorry about that.
That makes me really exciting. Hi, Mom. Hey, Mom. My mom told me to invite her today, but that she couldn't make it to this. Otherwise, my own mother would have been on here. Support her gal, right?
That'd be great. I'd love to meet your mom. That's cool.
I would have brought her on. I would have brought her on for a minute. She's a wonderful woman. So.
Is she single?
She is single. She is a widow, so she is single. And a wonderful woman. She was actually a member of Events and Adventures long ago. And
really?
She was she was very popular because she was a dive master and helped teach people how to scuba dive. And she's a crazy woman.
And I bet she's really shy.
No. She's never been shy.
I'm teasing.
Yeah, no. I jumped out of a plane with her at an Events and Adventures event long ago. Yeah,
there's no way she's shy if you are the way you are, Mark.
Yeah, no. She was wonderful, and she went to a lot of events. People loved her. Actually, the one thing, this is an insider Events and Adventures thing, but if you are a member and you watch this, we do a potluck thing, and it changes over time, and it's a rotation by your last name, what you're bringing, so you don't have to bring stuff all the time. My mom made that. She made it for a church thing she was doing, and I've used it. We've used it ever since. So that's cool. You go.
That's cool.
There you go. So you weren't really here earlier, Paul. So what are your thoughts on the benefits or disadvantages of meeting at events versus doing online, if you're shy?
If you're shy. Okay. Yeah, I mean, because I did online dating, but that's like years ago. Benefits, I mean, I don't really think there's any disadvantages to going to these events and being in a group setting. But, I'm personally not a shy person. Like, I'll say hi to anyone. But I have met people that are, a little nervous and shy and kind of like a wallflower. And but there's always someone to come and grab you and be like, hey, like I'm that person. Like, Mark, you were up against the wall or something and didn't want to talk to anyone. I'd be like, hey, dude, what's up?
Right.
I'm Paul. Right. So I've never seen anyone not get engaged right away. At an event. And I really don't see any disadvantages to this at all in a group setting, just because our members are so lovely. And, back to what Alma was saying is that we spend a lot of time with people, talking to them and making sure they're the right fit. And, it's like, I always say our product is our people just as much as how cool the events are,
Yeah, no, 100%. I know neither of you are shy, and I'm not shy. Yeah. I was shy when I was young, but I'm not now. And I have a couple shy staff members, and I said, "You want to be on this?" And they were like, "Oh, hell no!" So, we have no shame. Like, one thing I don't want to do if I'm shy is go on a live YouTube thing. She's no, that's my nightmare. So, So
Well,
Maybe
sometimes
I'll get them on.
when I do my flirting class, like we do lecture and then we get up on our feet and do exercises. So like I'll ask for volunteers, because you don't have to participate. You can, feel safe and not. So I just say, okay, just so I know who here is shy, and they'll identify themselves, and I'll be like, okay, you guys first, and then they get really mad at me, but then they love me at the end. So
So let me.
There's another thing I was just thinking about, Mark. You kind of tweaked my brain there for a sec. I think one of the other things is that, with online dating, there's one or the other. Like it's most of the time a complete lack of intention from someone's motivation to be on the app in the first place. Or they're just looking to stroke their ego with how many likes they get, and they don't have any intention.
Yeah.
like
actually
disposable dating, right?
Yeah, it's just like a popularity contest, and with this, regardless if you're shy or not, I mean, you joined because you have intention, and that's all that really matters, and that's what makes this work,
Yeah.
And I've been to a ton of events, right? So that's
so how about this? How about this? So obviously we're doing 500 events a month. We're doing travel. We're doing all this kind of stuff. What would you suggest would be other than the dating thing, which we already talked about? Almost thing is a great thing if you're shy. What other events would be great events to go to if you're shy? What would be ones that would be warm and cuddly and make you feel good about being there?
Yeah, I mean, my first couple of events, because I was a little bit nervous when I started, so I'll admit that. So my first event was a dance class. So something with an activity that keeps you doing something. Then I really got into like the trivia nights, because they like break you up into teams, and there's a lot of camaraderie going on at the events, and there's a little bit of competition. It was fun, right? And just makes you feel cozy. Anything with an activity, and then start easing yourself into the big singles mingles that we do at like a bar or a pub or a restaurant or something like that. If you're shy, I wouldn't go to a dinner right away.
Those are all good suggestions. I would not suggest dancing class unless you're a good dancer. You're probably a good dancer. So you have confidence.
Absolutely terrible.
I don't think he's a good dancer.
That's a brave. I think a dance class is a brave thing to go to, maybe. But so I've got a couple ideas. But what are your ideas, Alma? What event would you think would be great if you're shy?
I mean, I the escape rooms, the scavenger hunts, kind of like Paul said, when you're like teamed up. Also, I definitely think people should sign up for things that they're not good at, because someone there might be able to be like, oh, this is how you throw the axe, or this is how you do it. Yeah, so I would say, just sign up for them all. Just go to an event every single night. On the weekends, go to all of them. Get your money's worth.
Yeah.
I think definitely when you said that, I think definitely an event where the guy can be like, I'll help you, little lady. Men want to be helpful. If they have an opportunity to be helpful to you, that's a place that even a shy guy can be comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a good idea if you're a woman. We're a place of truth here. So politics and male, female, sex, whatever. If you let a guy help you, men want to be needed, and it makes them feel good to help you, and it gives them more confidence. I think one of my favorite events for someone who's shy is a hike, for a couple of reasons. I love events with carpools. If you're shy, because you get stuck in a car with somebody, it's only a couple people, and if you're there for 2 hours, you end up talking for 2 hours. Right, or an hour, however long the carpool is, and just by the time you get out of the carpool, you just feel like you've already made a friend. And I think hiking in general, you walk with different people. It's relaxing, and I mean, it can be stressful if it's like in Denver and it's a 14er. It can be stressful, but it's still something where the focus isn't on you, right? And that's when Paul's talking about a dinner. You can do a dinner. But yeah, then you're sitting next to some people for the meal, and it's loud and it's hard to hear people a little bit. I would prefer something.
It's not like interactive.
Yeah, I prefer something where you have a chance to talk. In fact, when I'm training my event staff to do all these events, one of the things I tell them is, no matter what the event is, there needs to be an opportunity for people to flirt and get to know each other. And we'll do a movie night where we go to a theater and we've like rented the whole theater out, or, you know, even just less than that. Before, we're going to be getting together, having some pizza, something where you can talk to people, right? We'll figure out, hey, what movie are you going to? We're going to go to this one. I'll go to that one. And then we go hit the movies. But we always make sure there's a place for you to flirt and have fun and get to know people, because that's the point. The events are the backdrop for us to meet people, right? And if it doesn't allow that, it's probably not an event we should do.
I probably shouldn't show you the picture of me at the event I went to. I went to the.
Show us.
Oh, you just outed yourself.
Yeah. So I went. There was a comedy. We're in San Jose, and I went to the improv night, and it was my first event here in this state, and I met lots of great people. I mean, I definitely got some numbers of men and women, but the event host. Oh my God. I have to find this. I promise it will be worth the wait.
She's going, can't show that one. Can't show that one. Can't show that one.
No, well, I'm not shy. So that's probably why I'm a really good teacher. Okay. Right. Even though I can't find it. It's funny. But anyway, I put him on my back. I told him. I put him on my back. I told him that I was very strong, and here it is. And
put him on your back.
I put him on my back, and I'm like, you see how much fun? Okay, so look at here. We're at the San Jose Theater. Can you see? That's me. I'm wearing a black and white shirt.
Yeah,
and this guy's been with the club for 9 years, and he's a big guy. But I was flirting, right? I'm like, hey, get on my back. But I mean, that's what it created, a memory. And I think that's what Events and Adventures is about. It's creating memories with new people. He's never going to forget me. We've already been texting. It was hilarious. It was like my stomach hurts every time. I mean, it hurts from laughter every time I think about that.
Should I make the joke about being a bottom? I better not. I just put that in there.
I'm going to an event tonight. I don't know if he's going to be there. I don't know who's going to get on my back tonight, but it's the St. Patty's Day pub crawl. So
there you go. There you go. So if you're out there tonight,
yeah. So
and which club is that in? That's Bay Area, right?
We're in the San Francisco San Jose Club. Yeah, the best club.
There you go. I don't know about that. It's a very great club. I always have Seattle in my heart because that's where I grew up.
Yeah. Well, I started in the Seattle club, so.
Right. The Bay Area Club is an amazing club. You got to watch out about those bar
crawls.
Well, when I was pre-COVID, I was in the Bay Area, and we were in San Jose, and on a bet, because I was doing a bunch of Spartan races then, and I was mentioning how many push-ups you have to do when you're doing Spartan races. You have to do these burpees and have a bunch of push-ups. And I ended up doing push-ups with this woman on my back doing push-ups the opposite way, because she was a Spartan too, and there was this big thing. And somewhere there's video of us doing those, and it was cool. I was like, am I gonna be able to do this? But it worked just fine.
See, and you had fun, and it creates a story and memories, right? And those are the pictures we show in our presentation, like people genuinely having fun.
No, that's true. And everybody got to laugh at us or with us, depending on what they wanted to do. And
so you were the power bottom.
I can't say anything because I left the other joke out there. I can't say anything. At least she was cute. But,
can I add my picture to the presentation of the guy on my back?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you come in an interview and you get Alma as your interview person, she'll show you that picture, and you can go ha ha, and we'll do it, and we'll do that. So I know that a lot of our staff is going to see this video too, so you're not going to be able to live that one down, I think.
Yeah, it's over. It's over, Alma.
It's over until the next photo.
There you go. So let's wrap this up a little bit. So if you are shy, Events and Adventures is a great place to be. But if you're not in a city where they have Events and Adventures, our advice is still get out there, find something, even if it's just a church group. Church groups are great. The only bummer about them is you meet everybody in like 3 weeks, right? It's the same people over and over again. Whereas, we're getting new people all the time. But, be safe when you're out there. Don't be afraid to talk to people. And I've said this a bunch of times, but I'll say it again. If it's the one, and I'll say it as a guy, if she's the one, then no matter what you say, she's going to find it funny or impactful or amazing, and she'll laugh with you, not at you. And if she doesn't do that, she's not the one. So the only way you can lose is by not saying anything.
Yeah.
The only way you lose is by not being out there and not talking to people. So make sure you're doing that, and it'll work out just like in baseball. Sometimes it's like that. Eventually you're going to find that home run, and the more people that you meet, the more choices you have. So, and obviously, we always plug our club.
EventsandAdventures.com.
Right. EventsandAdventures.com. Great way to do that. Hope we didn't push the club too much. We're trying to have some fun here. I'm trying not to just make it, that kind of.
I had fun. I'm smiling.
I know you did. And I appreciate Paul hopping on, man. You were a great contributor to our discussion, man. I appreciate it.
No, it's good to be here, and I love this place, man. This club is awesome. I don't want to plug it too much, but
Thank you.
I've been around.
I actually know that you were in the Vancouver club, right? Vancouver Canada Club.
Yeah. So I've been around for almost I'm on 10 years now being involved with this, and it's just the fun never stops, man. And
yeah, it is crazy how many people make Events and Adventures a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And which when I started, I never would have thought that. But yeah, just people want to be members as long as they're single. They want to be members. So that's
I think Paul has an EventsandAdventures.com tattoo on his arm.
Maybe.
Do you?
No. I have a tramp stamp.
That would be impressive. I would be like,
it's a tramp stamp that I don't want to show. No, I'm just kidding.
He loves us. So he's like, no. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for being. This is one of our first live YouTube things. So if you watch this later, send us messages saying, "God, you suck because of this," or "We love you," or whatever. But make sure to like it and subscribe, because we're gonna have a lot of fun over the coming months and years, and we're gonna be interviewing a lot of members and a lot of just different experts. I know all the experts in the industry, so we'll be bringing them on and talking about things that have to do with singles and dating and your life and having fun. So thank you very much for checking in on the In Dating
Podcast.
Bye.
There we go. So that was long. Went in and out.